Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Board Talks. Today we are restarting this session with the new bang for the new year. And welcome, sir. So I'll jump right in with the very first question. Why is personal branding crucial for independent directors in today's corporate environment?
Personal branding is even more important for independent directors, or you can call it a necessity for independent directors, because executive directors are full-time directors with a track record in the company. They have relationships inside the company. They have a track record. They have maybe a company loyalty for a long time. So they are rewarded for all these things and, given a board seat within the organization as an executive director. But an independent director is someone who comes from outside. So he doesn't have a track record inside the organization. So he has to be a thought leader in the domain. He has to be seen as a domain expert who brings, real value to the boardroom. And that is why the personal branding as a thought leader, as a domain expert, and, corporate governance expert becomes essential for an independent director.
So much, sir, for the insights. And now I'll come to my next question. What is the recommended strategy for building a personal brand inside the boardroom for the independent directors?
Independent directors need to build this personal brand both outside the boardroom as a thought leader as well as inside the boardroom. Now, inside the boardroom may require a little more, different qualities to be known for. For example, conflict resolution can be an important skill for an independent director because you are seen as someone independent. You are seen as someone, away from the corporate, organizational politics. So, you are seen as a more neutral party to resolve conflicts. In fact, somebody known to me had resolved a conflict, who is an independent director, had resolved a conflict between the promoters and investors successfully. So this is a good example. Uh, Now, inside the boardroom, for example, another thing which independent directors can do is foster collaboration, because again they are seen as neutral, so there is likely to be more support from everyone, and that can help them in fostering collaboration inside the boardroom. Independent directors also, maybe executive directors being involved in day-to-day roles, may have access to all the information. So independent directors need to work harder at getting the information, preparing for the board meetings, and showcasing their thought leadership and their innovative ideas, their contribution, their value addition in the board meetings, also inside the boardroom also.
That is such a great insight, sir. And that brings my next question around. How is personal branding different for independent directors when compared to executive directors? So I would love for you to throw some light on that.
So there are some differences between the personal branding approaches of independent directors and executive directors. So let's take the most important difference is executive directors need to do more internal branding, whether it is the chairman, promoters, investors, nominee board directors, so board directors. So executive directors need to do this internal branding within the boardroom or to get into the boardroom within the organization. So their focus has to be more internal branding rather than digital branding to the world or public branding. Or again, personal branding approach has to be different in the sense that executive directors have to build relationships within the organization. So they have to prove their credibility within the organization. Now, independent directors are actually on multiple boards, so they have to, build that personal brand on digital platforms or even offline platforms like, speaking or book writing or those things. But they have to do it, build an external brand. They have to build a thought leadership brand. They have to be known publicly. They have to use digital tools. They have to show that they add value to the boardroom. They bring some additional skills, additional expertise, and which they will be able to add value besides the executive directors to the boardroom. Now, this value addition can also be done through an independent judgment, through an independent thinking, which is useful for things like conflict resolution, collaboration, etc. So they become a neutral party and encourage cohesiveness in the boardroom in that sense.
Now that brings me to my very last question for today. What is it that Dr. Amit Nagpal uses as his power combination to train these independent directors?
So personally, I use a three-pronged approach with my clients. So the part one is the personal branding coaching part, where I coach the clients in digital branding, offline branding, aligning personal branding with organization brand, aligning personal branding with networking, how to use your personal brand, leverage your personal brand to build better networks. So that is the personal branding coaching part. The second part is actually assisting my clients in networking with the board community, with the startup promoters, with the right people who can help them get a board seat. So that is more than coaching, it is actually assistance and facilitation of networking. The third part is the hardcore board room or board part. So helping my clients in creating a board CV. I also do mock interviews, some aspects of the corporate governance, like emerging trends in corporate governance, what would be good topics to blog about, what would be good topics to create video or podcast content. Uh, like I asked this interesting question, to AI tools. What are the trends in corporate governance? A, global trends, B, current trends, C, emerging trends, and D, future trends. So this, actually gave a lot of interesting insights, to me also, and which I give these ideas, or I help my clients in ideation for content creation also.
Thank you so much, sir, for throwing light on these amazing insights. And I'm sure our viewers are going to love these. And I will also request our viewers to subscribe for more videos and do share it in your network. You never know who it can end up helping. Thanks again, sir, and see you again in another session.